Good morning, traders. It is 5:51 a.m. Chicago time, 6:51 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, the 21st of August, 2018. Thanks for joining me for this pre-recorded session. I'm having to attend some family stuff this morning, and I'm not going to be able to do it during the usual time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The market sentiment today is risk on slightly. The leader today is Euro stocks up 24 points currently. Again, it is 5:51 a.m. Chicago time. DAX is up 71.5 points. The laggard today is the US dollar getting hit a little bit based on comments from President Trump about his disappointment with the Fed chair and the fact that he wants to keep hiking rates. Not very good for a president who wants to be reelected, right? Because the purpose is to slow down the economy. So that's how things are looking. Definitely risk on, but not dramatic. Moderate, I would say moderate risk on. The euro and the pound are higher today, again as a result of that comment by U.S. President Trump, and that's where we stand. As far as the calendar, there's nothing on today that would interrupt the auction. I would not worry about the calendar today. Of course, we still have the China-U.S. Talks looming. The market's anticipating some action on that, and so keep your news feed turned up. Let's take a look at what. I'm not going to go over what we expected yesterday. I just don't have the time. But today, just looking at the narrative of what has happened yesterday, some of the biggest observations about yesterday is the fact that volume was pretty low, 638,000 again, versus about a million to 1.1 million. Very light session yesterday. It finished neutral normal, so it tested below the IB. It stopped right at the point of control, the volume point of control. Look at that beauty. Stopped right at it and then pushed through to the other side and pushed the IB high as well. Stopped in our stock zone, the 2860 stock zone, and turned around. The range was relatively poor at about 9 points, lower than I had anticipated, and we were not able to get back into this low volume node beneath. So the market found support and it turned around. So overall, very, very, very lackluster trade, although it did generate several opportunities for continuation trades. There's a small impulse and there's a continuation into the target stock zone and point of control. And then as it rotates back up, it gave us this grind into the close. The profile has an kind of a taper at the top and the bottom, very weak taper with a point of control. There's a point of control at 28.58 even. A lot traded in this area. You can see the point of control has a lot of kurtosis, but overall participation was very poor. Looking at the overnight session so far, and what we have is a push lower earlier, and then the market has been in a steady rise again since before the European session. The profile has multi-distributions on it. Again, completely balanced. The volume so far, it's still early to assess volume. Usually I wait for 2 hours from now, but volume so far has been lackluster to almost in line. We'll probably get another 10,000 contracts before 8 a.m. Central comes around when I actually look at it. So not much to read on the overnight session except that risk is on and we are well above our mid, and the overnight inventory is to the long side, slightly to the long side. What am I expecting for today? Today, more of the same. We are pushing into this 3-day balance over here, left behind on the 7th. On the 7th, 8th, and 9th, we had gapped up and held this 3-day balance before we dropped off. We're trading right in there. Yesterday, as you can see, this black line here, yesterday we hit the point of control of that area. It's marked right here. MC point of control, those 3 days, 28.59.75, and then today we're pushing above it. So we're starting to break out above this area. And when we break out above this area, we're moving a long ways back, and we're starting to push into this template day, which goes all the way back to January 29th, the day before the gap and run that took place in February. So pay attention to here. The next target up is 28.73.75 above here. So we had a trend day, a sort of a balanced day, and then we broke down, and that's where we are currently. This morning, the expectation for scenario 1, the expectation is open auction out of range, push higher, impulse down, push back into yesterday's range, retest yesterday's range, and finish somewhere in the middle. I'm expecting responsive this morning, okay? And for the primary scenario, the secondary scenario starts out responsive. We become responsive, move back in towards 28.58, 28.56, impulse out, and then hold just slightly higher, but mostly expecting a noisy, choppy trade, even though it's a Tuesday. Tuesday brings in some pretty good volatility usually. So those are the two main scenarios, and I'll just leave you with that. I really need to run, so I'll catch you. Good luck. Good luck trading today. Take care.